Yo, welcome back to the channel. If you've been paying attention to this series is about the Dom. And today, we're going to break the Dom down even more. We're going to break it down to the point where you're going to really understand all of the parts that's happening and where you can be able to, let's say, create Dom nodes and manipulate them and move all over the place. So, let's get into it. Here we go. So, JavaScript HTML DOM navigation. That's honestly what we're talking about is the DOM navigation. How can we move through the DOM? But the thing is, we need to understand the DOM. We need to see what it looks like in order to be able to navigate it, right? So, with the HTML DOM, you can navigate the node tree using node relationships. Node tree, node relationships. What in the hell is it talking about? It's like family tree, family relationships in a way, right? So according to W3C, HTML DOM standard, everything in an HTML document is a node. What in the what is a node? So DOM nodes. The entire document is a document node. Every HTML element is an element node. What does that mean? The text inside an HTML element are text nodes. Every HTML attribute is an attribute node. All comments are comment nodes. What in the node are we talking about? Oh, whoa. Node.js. Whoa, we getting somewhere. Okay. Well, we're not talking about Node.js today, but if you was thinking node and yeah, we tapping in. So this is what the document looks like on some basic. If we had if we had an HTML page that just had the doc type and it had the HTML tag, it had the head tag, and the head tag, all it has is a title, and then in the body tag over here, it has an A tag and an H1 tag. So, and then the A tag is my link and my header. So with the HTML DOM, all nodes in the DOM in the node tree can be accessed by JavaScript. New nodes can be created, and all nodes can be modified or deleted. So, but we already knew this, right? We already knew, we're just using this word called node now, but before we were saying elements. But in the terms of the DOM is recognizing these things as nodes. So we're going to call them nodes for now. And so nodes have relationships just like people do. Like look at this little tree. Like this is a type of relationship. Like document is the owner to root. Root owns all of these, and then what element, head, and body, you can kind of say that they're siblings if this is the parent, right? Then if they're on the same level, you say what, siblings, in a way, or married or something. I don't know. I don't know how you show a married relationship. Maybe they'll come off the side like that. I don't know. Okay, so the nodes in the node tree have a hierarchical. I'm gonna just say it has a hierarchy. um, there's a hierarchy to the node. I did not got COVID. There is a hierarchy to the node thing, and as you can see it, like right there, you see the hierarchy clearly, as document, then root, then everything else follows underneath. So the terms parent, child, and siblings are used to describe the relationships. Well, let's look back up. So we could think that the parent to the root is, or let's go ahead. The parent to the head is HTML, and the sibling to the head is the body, and the head has a child called title. So you can really just start to visualize this all just by looking here and while using these descriptive relationship words. So in the node tree, the top node is called the root. At the top, you at the root. Every node has exactly one parent, except the root has no parent. That's the document. A node can have a number of children. And however many number of children, you think about it, a div, it can have as many elements inside of it as it really wants. Siblings are nodes with the same parent. So let's say we had a div, and then it just had H1, H2, H3. Well, that H1, H2, H3 that's nested inside that div, those are all siblings if they're on the same level. So let's take a look at this body right here. So this body tag, well, this body H1 and P are siblings because they are on the same level in the body, but they're children elements to the body. Smooth. And you can see it right here. You got the root element is the H1 or is the HTML. Then the first child to the HTML is the head. And then if you go into the head, you see that the head should show the title. Oh, it didn't show the title yet. Okay, but yeah, so you got the head, that's the first child, and then you got the last child. So you got first child from the HTMLs, or from the HTMLs, let me move myself over here. So you got the first child, or you got the root element here, and then you got, it's gonna come down and follow this to the first child, which is the head, which we see right there. Then we got the last child, which is the body, which we see right there. So first child, last child, first child, last child. And now we got those two, that's the siblings. These are the sibling relationships. And so over here you can kind of see this says next sibling. So if we were at the first child and we were at that node and we wanted to go to the body, we could just say next sibling and that would take us to the body node. And if we wanted to go to the previous sibling, we could say previous sibling and that would take us to that node. Child nodes to HTML and siblings to each other. So that's what the head and the body are child nodes to the HTML, but are siblings to each other. It's basically what I just covered. Cool. From the HTML above, you can read that the HTML is the root. HTML has no parents, right? HTML is the root. It has no parents. HTML is the parent of head and body. Yep, head is here, body is here. They're on the same level. We got head is the first child of HTML and body is the last child. Then we got head has one child, which is title, as you can see right here. Head has one title, which is title. Title has one child, a text node. So title does have a child, which is a text node. Its inner HTML is a text node. And then body has two children. You got the H1 and P tag. So you starting to see the relationship. You can see how these relationships happen. And basically what we're saying in JavaScript and in DOM and in this lesson is that we're going to be able to navigate through our DOM based on these relationships. They all connect to each other. So we can get anywhere in the DOM based off a relationship to another element. So navigating between nodes. So how are we going to navigate between nodes? You can use the following node properties to navigate between nodes with JavaScript. So we got parent node, we got child nodes, we got first child, we got last child, we got next sibling, and we got previous sibling. Let's go check out what these mean. Okay, so child nodes and node values. A common error in DOM processing is to expect an element node to contain text. Not all nodes contain text, is basically what this is saying. So we got title right here. It does contain text. It contains a text node with DOM tutorial, right? The value of the text node can be accessed by the node's inner HTML property, as you already seen it, right? So we say my title equals document.getElementById demo.innerHTML. We already seen inner HTML multiple times. This is how we get the HTML that's in between. This is how we get the values, the node value between the inner HTML, or this is how we get the node value of like the element node, right? And so accessing the inner HTML property is the same as accessing, well, you just heard me say node value. But yeah, but if we think of the title tag as a node or a title node, and then we think of the text inside the title tag as a text node, well then if we're saying .inner HTML, basically what we're getting is the inner node value of the title tag. So that's what that's referring to, that node value. And so here the title can say first child node value. So we're getting element by ID right here. Element by ID is title. So this gives us title. And then we say first child. Well, what is the first child of title? we come back up to title. The first child of title is this text node. Then we say node value. So now we can get the value out of this node, which is just DOM tutorial. And that is the same thing as saying document.getElementById.enter.html. And then accessing the first child could also be done like this. So not only could we say first child, but we could also say node list like this, get element by ID demo. That gives us this title tag again. And then we could say dot child nodes. So it's going to have a list of child nodes, and then we can access that child node. We can access specific child nodes with the square bracket operator. And so we pass in the index that we want. So we can say index 0 through whatever the length minus 1 of the of the child nodes, and then say whatever that value is. So we're asking for the first child node. What is the first child node? Well, that's this node with the text, and then we say we want its node value. So then its node value is dom.tutorial. So in we just saw 3 different ways right here, right here, right here, and right here to access the first child of an element and grab the content. So all 3 of the following examples are previous. Okay, so all 3 of the following now retrieve the text of an H1 element and copies it to a P parent. So they're about to show 3 different times, like we did right here, how to do this. So first, we're going to try the inner HTML method, which is we have this H1 here with ID01, and then P tag with IZ02. Now, in our script, what we're going to do is document.getElementById, ID02. So we're going to grab this, we're going to grab that element, and we're going to set its inner HTML. So basically the middle part right here, the middle node, we're going to set its inner HTML to be document.getElementById, ID01, which is this element, and its inner HTML right here. So when we run this, my first page also gets loaded into this P tag right here. Cool. So we're seeing it with the inner HTML right here, but we can also say grab us this one, and then the first child, which is here, then is node value, which is the text. Cool. Then we could also say dot child nodes, and child nodes, remember, it's that list of nodes, and we can access the first one, and we say dot node value. Cool. There are 3 different ways of handling that node, or changing properties of a node. You can do it the HTML way, or you can do it the node way. All right, in this tutorial, we use the inner HTML property to retrieve the content of an HTML element. However, learning the other methods above is useful for understanding the tree structure and the navigation of the DOM. So we got DOM root nodes. There are 2 special properties that allow access to the full document. So you got document.body, and this is the body of the document. And then you also have document element, which is the actual full HTML element, right? Or the full HTML document. And so in this example, we have this HTML document that has this body right here. And in the body, we have the hello world P tag. Then we have a div right here that has a P in it, another P that has this P in it and this P in it. And then we have a script tag. Cool. So what does the script tag do? The script tag, it says alert document.body.innerHTML. So shit, what is document.body? Well, document.body is boom. Document.body is that, and it says .innerHTML. Well, shoot, the inner HTML is up to this point. So if we try this out, let's see what happens. Then we get this pop-up right here, and in this pop-up, oh yeah, I can zoom in. In this pop-up, you see we got the H1. Let me move myself a little bit. In this pop-up, you don't have to zoom in, but we got the H1 right here. Then we got that div with the 2 P tags in it, and then we got our script. So what in the world did we do it says alert. So alert means alerted to the screen, basically what it just did there, but it did it on the document.body inner HTML, and which is literally this part. It alerted all of the HTML that was inside the file. That's kind of dope. Like the DOM did that for us with JavaScript. That's real dope, Maj. Okay, and so we can also here they did document dot inner HTML. So let's see what that one does. And so this one is even doper because this one gives us the full HTML. Here you can see the head tag, then you can see where the body starts, right here, and then you can see where the body closes down there, all the way down there with everything in between. We get all the HTML content literally right there. That's dope. That is so dope. Okay. So the node name property. So the node name property specifies the name of a node. So node name is read only. Node name of an element node is the same as the tag name. So let's say we was getting a node. How do we get these nodes? A node is just like get element by ID. That's a node, right? And if I said dot node name afterwards and it was a actual like HTML element, let's say a H1, what we'll return is H1. If it was a P, what we return is a P. So that's what we mean by the node name of an element is the same as the tag name. And the reason we say it's read only is because we can't change that property, right? We can't change the node name of a P tag to be H1 because that just won't make sense. Therefore, we're just gonna make it read only. You can only access this value to read it, to look at it, but you can't access this value to change it, to write it, right? Okay, so node name of an element node is the same as the tag name. Node name of an attribute node is the same, is the attribute name. So you got an element and then you extracted its attribute and you wanted to see what the node name was of that. It will tell you the attribute like source or href, something like that. And so we also got node name of a text node is always the text, hashtag text. So basically if you do the node name or I think it's always like hashtag text, and then you do the node name of the document is always the document, hashtag document. Cool. Uh, uh, uh. So this one is saying that the inner HTML of 02 is going to be the node name of the document and dot get element by ID 01. So this is the element and we're saying dot node name. So basically if this is the element, then the node is the actual element, and so the node name is the H1. So we should see H1 loaded right there. Let's see. And there you go. H1 is what H1 is what was stored right there inside that P tag. Cool. All right, the node value property. The node value property specifies the value of a node. So let's get into that. Node value for element nodes is null. So basically, if I said document.get element by ID, where is that 01 dot node value, this would node value will return null for this because H1 has no value, if you will. Now, node value for text nodes is the text itself. So if this is a text node, so if I said, let's try this one out. So if I say I want to make this a text node, so I would have to say first child, right? And then I could say node value. And now this will put my first page here. And so this is why we use no value. But if I didn't put my first child and just try no value, you'll see that nothing gets loaded there because the value is null. So that's no value. And then no value for an attribute node nodes is just the attribute value, right? So the node type property, the node type property is read only. It returns the type of node, which we should already know. returns the type of node. This node is 1, node type 1. I don't know what that means. Oh, here we go. Node types. So it said the node type was 1, which means that it was an element node, and then so on and so forth. So if you ever want to check out the node types, here we are. Oh, made it to the end. Let's get it. Okay, so in this lesson, you really starting to see how this really node tree is working, how this DOM is really interacting, and that it's not really thinking in terms of elements anymore. Thinking in terms of elements is more HTML. Thinking in terms of nodes and objects with methods and properties and things like this. This is JavaScript. This is more modern terms of object-oriented programming. You're doing so well getting through this. You're getting through it, man. And so keep going, because in the next video, I'm going to teach you how we can add nodes to this list. So let's get it.